Do you like Indian food? Do you make Indian food? Well, if you were anything like me, when I first started, I just opted to go to the restaurant if I want to have some delicious restaurant quality food. Well, what is that? That's your butter naan, your butter chicken, chicken tikka, all your tandoori specialties, because obviously none of us have a tandoor oven at home. Well, how can we even do that? That oven goes to 2000 degrees Celsius, and that's just impractical in the house, maybe as a barbecue, but most of us don't have a setup like that. Well, let me tell you what happened when I first came in Canada and how my experience was with these Indian restaurants. And I'll tell you, I'm completely sick of them. Now, don't get me wrong, I love eating out. I just don't do a lot of it. If you've been following my stories recently from Facebook or Instagram, you know that I've been enjoying my poutines, my pizzas, and I get Indian food from outside sometimes. And I'll tell you why I do that if you just hang on for a little longer. And if you stay until the end of the video, you'll see what my home cooked recipes for Indian food looks like compared to what these Indian restaurants here pass off as Indian food.
In terms of beauty, it's not exactly an Indian classic, is it?
Also, I would like all of you to share your most disappointing restaurant experience in the comment section down below. So let's go back to the very beginning. Why did I even start cooking? Believe it or not, before I started university, I actually never used to cook as often as I do now. Like, it was just basic skills like eggs or maybe a cheese toast or something simple like a North Indian poha. And nothing to write home about, nothing that was Instagram worthy. So some of you may be thinking right now, what happened? How did I suddenly start cooking and trying to get all these restaurant quality dishes right at home? Now, to start off, I got completely sick of the Indian food and the Indian restaurants that I experienced in my first year at university. So I was really, really homesick for food, and I decided to look up online what the best Indian restaurant near me is. And I remember it was kind of far. I didn't have any car. I didn't even have my bus pass back then when I started university because I didn't apply for it. And I walked, I think about 25 minutes in the middle of summer to go get my fix. And like any other Delhi boy, I got the classics. All I wanted was some butter chicken and naan. Really simple, really basic. I'm sure most Indian cooks back in India can make it with their eyes closed. So I'm coming home, the food is smelling great, and I'm really excited to eat this. And I take my first bite, and I'm thinking, what is this? This looks right. It smells okay. What's wrong with the flavor? Why is the chicken so hard? Why is it pink? Shouldn't tandoori chicken be red? And I've tried almost all Indian restaurants in Ottawa, and it's the same thing. Now, don't get me wrong. There are a few gems and they do some things right. But there are still so many flaws that really, really disappoint me. And it disappoints me not because I have some big, super high standards. If you ever go to India or if you've been to India and you travel between cities, there are these roadside restaurants called dhabas. Now, they can be a really small scale dhaba and they can go like complete VIP with AC and really great quality service. So there's all kinds of tiers if you are visiting a dhaba while traveling in India. And trust me on this, each tier of dhaba, from the most basic one to the most high tier, can make a naan and a butter chicken better than these restaurants here. You can make butter chicken and naan and every other Indian dish better at home if you follow some of my recipes. Now, I'm not saying I have the best recipes. It's really good. That's all I'm gonna say. It's better than what you're gonna get at some of these restaurants. And it's not that much work, and it's gonna teach you so much about yourself. And I'm really excited for you to get started. Now, I had worked in some of these Indian restaurants while I was in university. And the chefs that were in the restaurant that I worked in, well, they were brought in from India. So what are they getting wrong? I really don't know how they can mess something like Indian food up. It's really not that complicated. And these chefs were flown in from India. So what are they doing wrong? Now, picture this. I visited Chicago a few years ago, okay? And decided to go to the internet again, find the best Indian restaurant. We went for a buffet because we wanted to like save some money. And trust me when I say this, the flavor and the texture and the naan and the butter chicken were exactly the same as what you get in Ottawa. It's like they're following some sort of blueprint for North American Indian food. If you know anything about the Michelin star winning chef Vikas Khanna, you'll know that he brings authenticity and the exact flavors from India to North America. And he does a great job of it. He makes his spices at the restaurant and the dishes really reflect the true flavors.
Now what I've been given is a much bigger global opportunity. So I'm just moving from one smaller box to a bigger box. You still have very traditional roots. You're still connected to the box, but you're out of the box.
I really think they're taking advantage of people who don't know Indian food by selling food that looks and smells like Indian food, but is so low on quality. I'm going to tell you another experience. On my second visit to a restaurant, I went to one of the best Indian restaurants and I ordered a vegetarian classic, Dal Makhani. It's simply black lentils that are usually simmered overnight over a tandoor and then finished with a tomato, cream, and butter sauce. The color is usually a brownish red, and each piece of that lentil really melts in your mouth and goes amazingly well with breads like lachha paratha or naan or rumali roti. Now, I'm sure some of you know what a lentil soup is. It's usually yellowish, made with chana dal or split chickpea lentils, and it's a complete different texture, as you can see in these pictures, to dal makhani. So the waiter comes in and I look at the bowl. It has some brown lentils, some yellow lentils, and it doesn't look at all like dal makhani. And I am a Delhiite. I'm a Delhi boy. I've grown up with dal makhani. I'm pretty sure there's some dal makhani running through my veins. By the way, if you like dal makhani from Haldiram's in India, give this video a big thumbs up. That is one of the best. But I tell the waiter, excuse me, is this dal makhani? Because we ordered dal makhani. And he's like, yes, of course, it's dal makhani. Like, well, it doesn't taste like it. It tastes like yellow dal, plain yellow dal that you're charging premium price for. Of course, I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. And do you know what the waiter tells me? He asks me, where are you from?
What?
I'm like, I'm from Delhi. And he says, well, if you're from Delhi, you should know this is what dal makhani tastes like. Can you believe that? They're trying to tell somebody who has lived all their life in India, grown up on dal makhani, and he's selling me something so willingly, without any shame, and telling me this is something that it actually is not. Now imagine somebody who's having Indian food for the first time. What kind of tricks are these guys pulling? I don't even get it. That's why I'm completely given up on Indian food. There are a few restaurants that some people have recommended, which I haven't tried yet. I will try them. But if I don't consider those restaurants, it's a complete shame, honestly. I'm all done. I'm happy. It was tasty. And then I look at my hands. And guess what? My hands were pink. Pink.